I bet that you have seen this interview of James Cameron giving you advice on how to become a director, and he advises you to start just by grabbing your camera and start filming, and it is definitely correct. So keeping this in mind, I'm going to try and explain you all how you can direct your very own first sequence. So without any further ado, let us get started. We all have been into those situations where we had to film for our friends, family, weddings, or even for school and college projects. And if you're just starting out, the process of filming can be daunting. When I first started directing, I started with music videos. And I'll tell you, I didn't know a thing that I was doing. All that I know of is I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos just before the day of filming to help me boost my self-confidence, and I bet it did help a lot. Now, I'll be honest with you all, I still don't know how to direct, or at least, that's what I feel so. And I still ask myself this question, how do I direct? Because each and every project that I work on has something or the other that is different and needs to be directed accordingly. So this question helps me a lot to get started out with. I know you all have the same question, that's why you're here looking for the answers. I recommend that you grab yourself a pen and a notebook to write down everything that I'm going to be mentioning in this video. Now, before we begin, do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you want to continue seeing this type of filmmaking related videos. I know it sounds a bit annoying, but it's the best thing that you can do to sharpen your narratives, to help you motivate to practice more and more. Because no matter where you are in your journey, no matter how many years of experience you have, there is always someone who is better than you. And this is the truth that you cannot deny. There's always someone better than me, and there's always someone who is better than you. So you just need to keep that hunger in yourself to learn more and more about your skills and how you can improve it more and more over time. So how do you get started? So you started scripting by understanding the script and how the script goes around, and creating creative visualizations in your head. And moving on to the next thing, storyboarding. Storyboarding is where you are going to create your creative visualization, so which you have in your head, and place them into a piece of paper, which helps in the production. And we are also going to be discussing it further in the video. And lastly, directing. And this is where the actual fun lies. Chapter 2. Scripting. So at first I'll be answering some questions which you may have. So starting with, why do you need a script? So script is the foundation of a movie, and without it, a movie cannot see the light of the day. It's as simple as that. So why is it important? A script can help a production to start. A script that is powerful will attract the eyes of directors and producers. Now let us say someone has a script and it catches your eyes, and it makes you think that you want to direct this particular script because it's so good, and you believe in yourself that you can make a good outcome from this script, and henceforth it passes down onto you, the director. Wink. So once you get a hold of the script, you need to analyze the script thoroughly. You need to read it line by line, and you need to understand how the script is playing, and where you need to place some things, and where you want to add some things in the script. The best advice that I can give you here is start reading books. Novels or novella, doesn't matter. Even storybooks can help you gain that creative visualization that you need in order to start directing. Or some people are born naturally with creative visualization. If you are one of them, well and good. But if you aren't, there's always other choice. You can just start reading. Hey Sid.
Yes.
Where's our script? How do we get started if you don't have a script? Now, that's a good question. There are two options here which you can go for. You can either take a script or lines from your favorite book or from your television show. Or what you can do is you can create your own by completely imagining it. So here's a script that I made complete out of my imagination. So the name of the script is The Guy. I don't know why I choose this name, but it's what I chose. So this script is kind of a silent script because I didn't want to have too much going on with this script. I just want to keep the stakes very low and show you all how easy it is to write a script down. So this is just a silent script. It only describes what goes around and how the story plays. So over here, what I have thought of is the intro. A guy sleeps on his couch who is passed out, What we can also add in over here is he has a bunch of deadlines or due projects which he needs to submit it by certain time frame. Imagining it, that goes on really well with this particular scene. And then the alarm goes off. The room is very dirty, of course, because like he's a guy who is sleeping on a couch, so we need to make according to that. And scene 2, he wakes up, he scratches his head, yawns, and looks at his to-do list, which he has stuck on his TV, and says, I have to finish my work, this and that, and goes on to his kitchen, makes himself a cup of coffee, and gets back to work, and comes in, throws the blankets and all bed sheets to the other side of the couch, and sips a coffee and gets started or gets going with his work. So this is the script in brief, and it's really simple. It only has 3 scenes. Scene 1 being the living room, number 2 being he waking up, and number 3 he making himself a cup of coffee, and lastly, sorry, I just said 3 scenes but it has 4, and lastly him getting back to work. So this is the simple skit that I've come up with for this particular video, and this is completely out of my imagination, and I'm going to use the set behind the camera to be filming this on. So if you want to see the complete process, make sure that you stick around till the end, because I'm going to show you everything behind the scenes and all. I guess many of you all have already heard about storyboarding. Now, if you haven't, let me answer you the question. It's the process where the script is turned into visual images, which will be used as a reference when the production begins. Next question, who creates this storyboard? So in a professional movie production or movie studio, it takes months of preparation to begin with filming. Once a director likes a script and decides to work on it, he seeks out to a storyboard artist who helps to transform the director's ideas and words into visuals. Just keep in mind that in most cases, director of a movie works with the cinematographer and discusses the scenes, and then the creation of storyboard begins. Now on to the next question. Why is it so important? Storyboard is important as it's the only piece of paper other than the script that depicts how a scene is going to play out. Secondly, it acts as a clear mode of communication on set, sharing visuals or a clear concept as to how a scene is going to play out. Here are some of the key points that I want to throw in. Anyone who has a good sense of imagination and communication skills can become a director. As I've said it before and I'll say it again, read a lot of books. It helps to make your imagination grow. Start small and grow big. And lastly, this is the most important tip or point that I want to give to you. Don't just think, act. If you keep it in your brain and if you keep it in your mind, you're just going to forget it. If you have an idea, just write it down and make sure that you work on it and not let it collect dust on yourself, which you really don't want to, because it will be a complete waste of time. So just act, because no matter how small or funny the script might be, it will work out just fine. So believe in yourself. And lastly, how do you create a storyboard? Well, you can find hundreds of free storyboard templates online. You can download them, print them, and use them to create your very own storyboard. If you think that's too much of work, then you can do what I do. You see, most of the time we may be running against time, and it costs us money to print those storyboard templates. And if I'm in a run and gun situation, what I love to do is create small boxes on my diary and create this storyboard, and gets the work done in most scenarios. The most important tip over here is only create storyboard if you are sure about the location that you're going to film in. If you create a storyboard based off of a location and unfortunate enough you do not get the permit to be filming in that location, you may have wasted some time creating those storyboards. But do not worry, you can always edit those storyboards and change the location accordingly. But in order to save time, I prefer that you first select the location and then create the storyboards. If you Google storyboard, there you will see storyboard artists create amazing, stunning visuals in a form of sketch. Now, you do not have to be a sketch artist in order to, create those, storyboards which looks professional and will be easy to understand. You just have to be at a point where drawings are understandable by the people who are on set. You just don't need to be that professional sketch artist to be one storyboard artist. And don't be one like this as well. Now that we have our script and our storyboard, now is the time that we get started with filming. Depending upon your script, you can ask your friends, your family, or anyone who is willing to act in your film. Or if you're just starting out and practicing and you are not confident about casting other people, what you can do to boost your self-confidence is you can star in yourself. Try it with yourself, because this process will give you a broader understanding of how things goes around in a set. Or you can develop an understanding about how you can ask people to act on set and how you need to direct in order to get the desired result. But before we begin, we must create our set. So where's our set? So our set is just right there. As my script is about a guy who is exhausted and has a deadline coming, I just want the set to look like a messy place where it hasn't been cleaned for days. Do your best to litter it and make it look a bit clumsy kind of a room. Now this is the answer to the question that you have been waiting for throughout this video. Before I answer this question, now if you have made this far into this video, make sure that you all subscribe. So let me answer you this question. So how do I direct? Just practice, as practice can make you perfect. Watch a lot of videos that is related to directing, read a lot of books that are written by famous directors who have been working in the industry for 30-40 years and who have compiled everything into a book and are passing down that information. If this video does not help you reach your goal, reading those books by those people definitely will. Look up for your favorite directors or cinematographers who are there in the industry. And now is the time that I'll give you an insight of how I will direct this short sequence. Okay, so once you have got a hold of everything that I mentioned in the video, now your task is to begin directing. It's really difficult for me to show everything here because I'm the only person who is filming, acting and doing everything. As my script goes, we have a living room and that's in a really messy situation. So how do I come up with is that I have created this storyboard, and with the help of the storyboard I'm just placing everything according to it. Now the angles might change, the scenes might change a bit, it's natural, and during a production of course we need to compromise on some things. With the help of the storyboard and the script which I have made, I'm just analyzing it continually, making sure that I get the shots which I have mentioned in my storyboard. Now talking about a short film, the thing that I want to mention over here is that it's not a short film, it's just a short sequence which I had managed to plan out of nowhere, out of my utter imagination. So now I cannot say that it's a full script for directing, but I have just given you or shown you how you can start, or given you the starting point of your journey as a director or a cinematographer. And that's the reason why I have chose to keep it raw and simple as possible as I can, because I want you all to see the process and how it may look when you yourself do it. So yeah, it can be a point where you can start to create more and do more. So lastly, the thing that I want you all to do is to keep a track on what you're doing and what you need to really focus on. And if you have a favorite director or someone who you really admire, look at their posts, look at their blogs, or if they have a book written by them, of course make sure that you read them and try to get a good understanding and grasp their ideas about their directing, cinematography and storyboarding and whatnot. So yeah, I guess we have come towards the end of today's video. Now if you did enjoy today's video, make sure that you subscribe, like and share. Now if you all subscribe, like and share, it will definitely help me to create more and more content which is focused towards film making. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll make sure that I'll see you in the next one.